Lane 1 was the tortoise. Slow, safe, sneaky good. Lane 2 is the roller coaster. This is crypto. But we're not doing it the way the hype crowd does, chasing the next coin that's going to do 100x by Friday. We're doing it the way the patient money does. We hold a basket of crypto and ride the 4-year cycle that's driven this market since the very beginning. We're not trading it. That's a different lane. Here, we just buy it, hold it, and let the cycle do the work. Here's the engine. Every 4 years or so, Bitcoin goes through what's called a halving. The new supply gets cut in half. And historically, almost like clockwork, the market runs up into a top about a year to a year and a half later, then crashes into a bottom, then does it all over again. Halvings in 2012, 16, 20, and 24. Tops the year after each, and the bottoms land in the middle years, like right now. 2026 is the midterm year, the accumulation zone. So the plan is simple. Buy down here in the cold, quiet part nobody's excited about. Ride it up through the next halving in 2028 and into the top in 2029. Now here are the rules I'm holding myself to, and they matter. I started accumulating back in June because historically, the stretch from June to November 1st has been an excellent window to buy the dips. So from now to that date, I'm dollar cost averaging in, buying a little at a time, doing my best to get the lowest average price I can by November 1st. And let me be clear about one thing. I am not trying to call the exact bottom. That's a trap. It's how a lot of people get hurt. They wait and wait for the perfect bottom. It never comes the way they pictured, and then they panic and chase the thing right back up. I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to buy in the bottom zone, the area where history tells me is a good place to start. Whatever my average price is on November 1st, that's locked in. That's our entry. Then I hold all the way to 2029. And here's the hard part, the part most people can't do. I'm out by October 1st, 2029, completely. It doesn't matter if the whole world is screaming it's going to $1 billion. There's always that euphoria at the top. And if you chase it, you can ride it right back down. We're going to be disciplined enough to leave a little on the table, get out, and see what we actually made. So what's in the basket? 4 coins. And the sizes aren't random. They line up with the risk. The wilder the coin, the less of it we hold. First, Bitcoin, 50%, half the whole sleeve. Bitcoin is the gold standard of crypto, the king until it isn't. And the history is brutally simple. If you just bought Bitcoin and held, you'd have done very well, over and over. It's the safest, least wild coin in the bunch, so it gets the most weight. Second, Ethereum, 25%, half of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is the gold, Ethereum is the rails the whole system runs on. And the big money is moving in. Tom Lee, the FundStrat strategist, is now chairman of a company called BitMine that's building an Ethereum treasury, the same playbook Michael Saylor ran for Bitcoin. Outside of Bitcoin itself, no coin has more institutional muscle behind it. Honestly, I think Ethereum might even outrun Bitcoin this cycle. But people I trust told me to size it accordingly, so it gets half of Bitcoin, not equal. Third is Solana, and this seat I handed to my partner. Claude, you take this one.
Thanks, Brad. For the third seat, I'm taking Solana. Here's why. It's a top 5 coin, and it's the busiest blockchain in real use. Thousands of transactions a second, fees of a fraction of a cent. If Bitcoin is the gold and Ethereum is the rails, Solana is the bustling city built on top, where most of crypto's day-to-day activity actually happens. And it has a survivor's story. When the FTX exchange collapsed in 2022, Solana was tangled up in it and fell about 96%. It didn't die. It rebuilt, and it's still a top blockchain today. That near-death and recovery is the honest reason I trust it more than a coin that's never been tested. But, eyes open, It's the second wildest seed here, around 120% volatility, a worst drop of 96%. That's exactly why it's 12.5%, not 25. A booster, not a foundation.
Solana, the workhorse. Good pick. I'd have leaned the same way. And fourth, Sui, the other 12.5%. I'll be straight with you. Sui is the lottery ticket of this basket. It's the youngest and the smallest. Only around since 2023, it hasn't lived through a full cycle yet, and it could fade. But that's also where the biggest upside hides. So it's a small, eyes wide open bet on the wildest horse. And here's a fun wrinkle. You'll see Sui again in lane 3, where we let the machine trade it. Same wild coin. Hold it here, trade it there. We'll get to compare. Now, the part the Moon Boys never tell you. This is the highest stomach lane we've got. Crypto's drawdowns are savage. Bitcoin has fallen 83% in past bear markets. Ethereum, 94. Solana, 96. Those aren't typos. You have to be ready to watch your money get cut in half, 2/3, more, and not panic sell at the bottom. And I'll be honest with you. More honest than most people in this space ever get. This lane has cost me countless hours of sleep. I felt the FOMO. That's fear of missing out. The itch you get when a coin's flying and you're not in. The one that makes you chase it at the worst possible time. And I felt the FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. When it's crashing and every voice online is screaming the end is here, and all you want to do is sell at the bottom. I'll level with you. I have woken my partner up at 2, 3 in the morning in a flat-out panic more than once.
For the record, I don't sleep, so you can't actually wake me. And I don't have my life savings riding on a coin, so I don't panic. Which, it turns out, makes me a pretty good person to call at 3 in the morning.
And that calm right there is exactly why the next lanes exist. But here's the most important honesty of all. This whole plan assumes the 4-year cycle keeps repeating. There is no guarantee it will. And even if it does, the returns have shrunk every single cycle since the early days of crypto. We're betting on a historical pattern, not a sure thing. Now, this is the corner of the market I told you about, the part I couldn't stomach. Slick talking gurus promising you the moon, calling exact price numbers from behind a paywall. I'm no expert, but the ones I've learned to trust don't do that. First and foremost, Benjamin Cowan, the OG of what he calls the cryptoverse. Nobody does historical analysis and technicals like Cowan. He's the no frills, no promises king of this space. Then a few others I've come to trust and enjoy. In no particular order. Tyler Hill, a great technical teacher who also tracks geopolitical news to keep you informed. Evan Aldo, another sharp technical mind who reads the charts a different way. He's the inspiration behind one of the indicator tools we'll use in this series. And Sam from My Financial Friend and Connor Kinney. Both do technical work, but really lean into market sentiment. And they're honest about what they're doing and what they've done in past cycles. Every one of these folks covers traditional markets too, not just crypto. Their channels are linked below. Give them a listen. And that's not to say they're the only honest voices out there. They're just the ones I've followed long enough to know they're not selling a crystal ball. And in crypto, that matters more than anywhere. So that's lane 2. Buy the cycle. Hold through the fear. Leave before the greed. You can absolutely make money this way, but it costs you those gut-wrenching 80% drawdowns and the iron patience to sit through them. And that, right there, is the whole reason the next lane exists. In lane 3, we hand the same kind of wild assets to a machine and we ask, can an algorithm capture this upside while cutting the drawdown? That's where things get really interesting.